This video is part of the course that is Build Reactive REST APIs with Spring Web Flux and Spring Boot. Link for the course is given in the description. Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, we will see reactive stream specification. But before that, let's first understand what is reactive stream. So in the previous lecture, we have seen event-driven stream using this diagram, and this is how data flows between publisher and subscriber. In other words, we can call it as reactive stream. So now you got idea of reactive stream. So let's jump to the reactive stream specification. So basically, it is rules for reactive stream. Just like any programming language, in each programming language, we have certain rules that we need to follow, right? So the same applies for reactive stream as well. And those rules are called as reactive stream specification. This is the official page where you can check out more information regarding reactive stream specification. Reactive stream specification has 4 interfaces: publisher, subscriber, subscription, and processor. Let's check out each of these interfaces one by one. So the first one is publisher. So basically, the one which provides the data is publisher. It can be your database or external service or anything else. Publisher interface has one method, that is subscribe, and it is taking one input parameter, that is type of subscriber. So here, subscriber will call this subscribe method to subscribe to the publisher. So let's take the real world example. Say for example, you want to subscribe to the OTT platform. So basically, OTT platform is the publisher and you are the subscriber. So by monthly or yearly plan, basically you will subscribe to the OTT platform. So the same applies over here. Subscriber will call this subscribe method to get the subscription from the publisher. Now the second interface is subscriber. Basically, the one which receives the data is subscriber. Subscriber interface has 4 methods: onSubscribe, onNext, onError, and onComplete. So these 3 methods we have already seen in the previous lecture. So now let's focus on this onSubscribe method. As we have seen in the previous slide that subscriber will call the subscribe method to get the subscription of publisher. Now in return, it will get the confirmation using this onSubscribe method. Just like you will get confirmation email from the OTT platform regarding your subscription. So the same applies over here. Subscriber will get the confirmation for the subscription using this onSubscribe method. The third interface is subscription. It represents one-to-one relationship between publisher and subscriber. The subscription interface has 2 methods: request and cancel. Using this request method, subscriber can ask for n number of data from the publisher. Now, say at any moment, subscriber doesn't want more data from the publisher. So what subscriber can do is, it can call this cancel method, and by that, basically subscriber is informing to the publisher that, hey, stop it. Now I don't want more data. Whatever data you gave me till now, I'm good with that. Now I don't want more data. So this is what cancel method is used for. The last and fourth interface is processor. It represents processing stage for publisher and subscriber. And obviously this processing stage is for data. It follows contracts of both publisher and subscriber. And that's why processor interface is extending both publisher and subscriber. It doesn't have its own abstract methods. It is just extending subscriber and publisher interfaces. So now you got basic idea of these interfaces. So let's club this together and understand with the help of diagram. So here we have publisher and here we have subscriber. So the first thing is subscriber will call this subscribe method to subscribe to the publisher. And in return, subscriber will get the confirmation from the publisher using this onSubscribe method. Now, subscriber will call this request method to get the n number of data from the publisher. Say for example, publisher is database and subscriber is application. And say for the given query, there are 20 records in the database. But here subscriber can ask for 10 records using this parameter. So subscriber is saying that, okay, you have 20 records, but I'm just looking for 10 records only. So give me the 10 records. And here comes the back pressure. So now the data has been requested by subscriber to the publisher. So publisher will start to give the data back to the subscriber using onNext event. So here onNext method will be used for onNext event. And this is we have seen in the previous lecture, right? For each record, there will be one onNext event. And here we are using onNext method for that purpose. Say subscriber has asked for 10 records. So then there will be 10 onNext events. And at the end, there will be either onComplete or onError event. So this is depend, right? Either success or failure scenario. Now let's talk about the cancel method. So here we have publisher, here we have subscriber, and subscriber is subscribing to the publisher using this subscribe method, and in return it is getting confirmation using this onSubscribe method. Now subscriber is asking for the n number of data to the publisher using this request method. Say for example, subscriber is asking for 10 data and the publisher has given one record using this onNext method to the subscriber. Now say for example, after getting the first record, subscriber doesn't want more data. So what subscriber can do is, it can call this cancel method. So that will inform to the publisher that, hey, I don't want more data now. Don't give me any more data. Whatever you gave me till now, I'm good with that. Now stop it. So this is back pressure. So this is all about reactive stream specification. If you like the video, then please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like the video, do comment in the comment section and share with your friends. Do you want to learn reactive programming with Spring Webflux? If yes, then I am having complete course on it. In this course, first you will learn what is reactive programming and why you need to go for reactive programming. You will learn basics of reactive programming with Project Reactor library, and also you will learn reactive types, flux and mono with practical example. This course covers what is back pressure and how to achieve back pressure using reactive programming. In this course, you will learn different schedulers provided by reactive programming to perform tasks asynchronously. After having the basic knowledge of reactive programming, you will learn how to build reactive REST APIs with Spring Webflux and Spring Boot. You will learn how to have functional endpoint for your reactive REST APIs, and also you will learn how to get path variable, query param and HTTP headers while working with functional endpoints for your reactive REST APIs. You will learn to build non-blocking REST APIs with Spring Webflux and Spring Data R2DBC using different HTTP methods like GET, PUT, POST and DELETE. Here, Spring Data R2DBC is used to connect to any SQL database in a reactive way. Just want to mention that you can't use Spring Data JPA while working with reactive programming, and that's why Spring Data R2DBC is there for the same purpose. In this course, you will learn to create video streaming application just like YouTube using reactive REST APIs and Spring Webflux. So what are you waiting for? Link for the course is given in the description. Just click on that and start building reactive REST APIs with Spring Webflux and Spring Boot. That's all for now. We'll see you in the another video. Till then, happy learning and happy coding.